Today we are going through my entire makeup collection and I'm going to be counting my makeup and how much makeup I have in each category. I did this video for the first time last year to kind of hold myself accountable for how much makeup I am holding on to. Again, YouTube and content creation is my full-time job, but at the same time, I only try to hold on to products that I know I will get use out of and products I actually enjoy. I will also be comparing this year's numbers to last year's, so let's dive right in. I'm going to start with my face primers. So I currently have 8 primers in my collection, whereas last year I had 9 primers. I'm pretty happy to see one less primer, and I genuinely use all of these primers, which just makes me really excited. First, we have the Glow Recipe Plum Pump Hyaluronic Serum that I just use when I'm feeling super dry. And then I have the Glow Recipe BHA Smoothing Drops that are a really nice kind of smoothing primer. I've seen really mixed reviews on this product, but it does work for me. And this is the newest primer in my collection. It's the e.l.f. Jelly Pop. It just came back in stock, and I was seeing so many people rave about this, so I really wanted to try it since I do love e.l.f.'s primers, and I've used this twice now, and I do like it. I gotta say, it seems really similar to the e.l.f. Power Grip, where it still has that stickiness, but this one feels a little bit more hydrating and has like a delicious watermelon scent. And then we have the Smashbox Primerizer, which I'm currently trying to finish. I'm pretty low on this, and I'll definitely finish this within the next couple months. And then I have the Say Glowy Super Gel. Now this is kind of more like a liquid highlighter, but I like to use it as a really dewy primer underneath like a more mattifying skin tint. Then I have the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer, which is great for filling in my pores. Then I have the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, which I love when I want my makeup to last all day. This is so long wearing. And then I just have a little mini of this Smashbox Mattifying Primer. I think I got this as like a Sephora gift with purchase, but I do like to use this in some of my oilier areas. So those are all the primers in my collection currently. I feel like 8 is a really reasonable number for me, and I have a different primer for different scenarios, you know? Next, for foundations, I currently have 13 in my collection, whereas this time last year I had 12. So that's only one more than last year, which I feel like that's okay with me. Now, the reason I have so many foundations is because I have foundations for when I'm pale and for when I have a fake tan on, so that's how I kind of separated these. So up top are my pale foundations. The first one is the YSL All Hours Foundation. Now, this was kind of randomly sent to me in PR last year, and I have been loving this. It's a luminous matte foundation, and it just looks so beautiful and lightweight on my skin and has a really good coverage. Next, I have the One Size Turn Up the Base BBB Cream. I'm still getting used to this one. I've only used it a handful of times, but I have been liking the way it looks on my skin. And then I have this Glossier Stretch Foundation that just came out last year. Now, this shade is actually too fair for me. Pretty much, I ended up buying this in store. I thought it would match me. It was too fair. I tried to go exchange it, and they didn't have the shade I needed in stock, so I just decided to keep this one. And I've kind of been using it as like a mixer when I need to lighten a foundation, but it's not really doing it for me. So honestly, this might get decluttered sometime this year. I'm just not obsessed with it, and with the color being way too light, it just doesn't look good. And then I have the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop Tint in 2. I love this skin tint. And then I have 3 of the NYX Bare With Me concealers. Now, these are in the foundation category because I wear these as foundation. You can see I'm super low on this one, and the reason why I have 2 backups is because I ordered these from Ulta, and like my order never shipped, so they reshipped it, and then the original order ended up showing up. So I do have 2 backups of this, and I usually recommend not to hang on to backups just because it's hard to get through the product anyways, but because this one is so low, I'm keeping both of these backups for now. And then for my more tan foundations, I have the Hourglass Veil Hydrating Skin Tint. Now, this almost got decluttered in my last declutter, but I'm hanging on to it because I want to try it now in the winter when my skin is more dry. In the summer, I think it's way too dewy, but I gotta try it out again soon. And then I have the Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation. This is my go-to foundation when I want like a full coverage, full glam look. I need my makeup to last all day. This is what I grab for. And then I have the Rare Beauty Foundation right here. Now, I have really mixed feelings on this just because I hate the Dofa applicator, and this foundation feels kind of greasy on my skin, but once it sets down, it looks beautiful on the skin. So I kind of have like a love-hate relationship with this one. And then I have the Fenty Beauty stick version of the Eavesdrop. I've been loving this one. Then I have another one of the Eavesdrop in my tan shade. This one is 5, and I'm currently trying to pan this, so this is actually really, really low. And then I have the Too Faced Born This Way Healthy Glow Skin Tint. I'm wearing this one today, even though you can't see my face, but I really like this one as a skin tint. I've just been loving skin tints and tinted moisturizers in general. Like, my skin just loves that. With the full coverage concealer on my acne, that's like my go-to right now. I feel good about this number, and I know this one's really low, this one's really low. I'll probably declutter this one at some point, but this doesn't feel like too much for me. Next is my concealer. So I currently have 11 concealers, but I'm also including this under eye brightener in this category. And this time last year, I had 10 concealers. So I only have one more than last year, which I'm okay with. But can you tell which concealer is my favorite? Clearly, it's the Natasha Denona High Glam. I have 4 shades of this. When this concealer launched last year, I did receive a PR package of like all of the light shades, so that's why I have so many, but my most used shade is RN3 that I use under my eyes. And then if I'm fair, I use R2 under my eyes. And then if I want to spot conceal with this, I have N3 and N5. But honestly, ever since this concealer launched last year, I have really not wanted to use anything else under my eyes. It looks perfect under the eyes. It's nice and lightweight. It's a serum concealer, but it has a good medium to full coverage. Wears beautifully all day. Like, I cannot say enough good things about this. And even with some of the new concealers that have come out recently, I'm just not tempted to buy them because I love this one so much. And then I have 2 shades of the Tower 28 serum concealer. I have the shade DTLA and CC. Now this formula is really similar to the Natasha Denona one, where it is a serum lightweight concealer, and it is a little cheaper than Natasha Denona, but these are both really great concealers. And then I have the LYS Triple Fix Full Coverage Brightening Concealer. I think I almost decluttered this one as well in my declutter I posted a few weeks ago. I don't know. I don't really think I like it. Should I just declutter it now? Like, as I'm just talking about these concealers, like, why am I hanging on to this one? But I really need to use it again under my eyes, so maybe I'll try it like tomorrow and really make a final decision then. But yep, this one's in my collection. Don't really have much to say about it. And then I have this ColourPop Pretty Fresh concealer, and I keep this one because it's a really light shade, Fair 20N, so I like to mix this if I need something even lighter under my eyes if I'm like super fair that day. And then I have 2 of my favorite concealer ever for spot concealing my acne spots. I have Custard for when I'm tan and Vanilla for when I'm fair. In case you didn't watch my Project Pan series last year, I did finish both of these concealers last year, and after I finished those 2 pots, I was waiting a little bit to see if I really wanted to buy it again, and I truly missed these from my collection, so I bought these, I want to say a month or 2 ago. There's already some pretty good usage on these. Like I said, it's my go-to for spot concealing. I love this concealer for my face. Then the one under eye brightener I have is this one from e.l.f. I just like this one for a nice peachy brightener under my eyes. It does a really great job, and it's nice and inexpensive. So those are all the concealers in my collection, but obviously my top 2 are the NARS and Natasha. Like, I could live with just these and I'd be happy. Next category is my face sprays. So I currently have 5 in my collection, whereas this time last year I had 6. I would count this Rare Beauty one, but it is literally empty, like maybe one more use and it's gone. So this is an empty. So first I have this Peach and Lily Glass Skin Veil Mist. Now I like to use this one more as just like a hydrating mist while I'm doing my makeup, or if I'm just really dry before I start my makeup, but I don't like set my face with this one or anything. And then I have a mini of the Urban Decay All Nighter. I keep this one just for travel purposes. I love the All Nighter. I actually just finished a full size of this one as well. I do need to repurchase it because this one's kind of low too, but it's great for travel. And then I have a mini of the NYX Matte Finish Spray. This one's kind of low too, huh? I got this one as a gift with purchase with that Ulta order I was actually just talking to you about. I do like this one for the days where I feel like my base is just way too glowy, which happens, you know, sometimes I overdo the glow, and this kind of helps settle that down a bit, so I like this one. Now my least favorite one I have is this Cali Ray Surf Proof Setting Spray. So I bought this one last year because I was hearing such great things about this, but I just don't really like it. It's a hydrating one, so again, I can't really use it on the days where I'm too glowy, and I also just don't like the mister on it. It's too soft of a mist. So actually what my plan was, once I completely finished this Rare Beauty bottle, I was gonna pour this into here to see if I like that mister better. I don't know, we'll see. But I just don't really feel like this one sets my makeup, but like, it feels good, I guess, but you know, I bought it, I spent my money on it, so I'm gonna keep it for now. And then my favorite one in my collection is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Now this is a brand new bottle that I just opened the other day. I finished a full size of this last year, and before that I think I finished a mini as well, so this is now my 3rd bottle of this spray. Now the only thing I don't like about this is the smell. It doesn't smell terrible, but it doesn't smell great, but I love how it makes my skin look. And I like to use this spray during my makeup. I like to set my makeup with this. Like, this does everything for me. I love it. I have been interested in trying out some new setting sprays, so if you have one that you really love, I would love to know. Next is all my face powders. So I currently have 12 powders, and this time last year I had 14 powders, so that is 2 less than last year. I'm very happy with that, but I also have to add that this powder is very, very low. Like, maybe, I don't know, a week of usage out of this and it's gonna be empty. So honestly, I feel like we could say 11 powders at this point. All right, let's quickly go through these. So first I have the LYS Triple Fix Setting Powder. This one is translucent. And this powder's okay for me. It's not my favorite, but it's the only translucent pressed powder that I own. So if you have a translucent pressed powder that you love, I would love to know. I'm definitely in the market for one. This one just doesn't really do it for me. I did buy this one myself because I've been wanting to try more LYS products, but so far, like, nothing has really blown me away from the brand. So also, if you have a favorite from LYS, let me know. Then I have this Sigma powder. This is the Soft Focus Setting Powder in Vanilla Bean. It's kind of been a minute since I've used this powder, but I remember really, really liking it. A little bit more mattifying and blurring. Really beautiful. Next, I have the RCMA No Color Powder. This used to be my favorite loose powder for under my eyes for years. I think I've gone through probably 3 little jars of this. And this one is below halfway full, but honestly, it's been a while since I've used this powder. Next, I have the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder in light pink. Now this is the only kind of colored powder I have, but honestly the pink really isn't even that noticeable on the skin. I did finish this powder in light last year and I love this powder. It's a great drugstore one for all over the face or for under the eyes. And then I have the One Size Ultimate Setting Powder in translucent. Honestly, I haven't gotten much use out of this one because I've been trying to pan and finish this Hourglass. I was obsessed with this one for a minute, so I'm still getting to know this powder, so I can't really say much about it right now. Next is the Lunar Beauty Powder. Now I love this one. I bought it myself last year and it is probably the most like finest milled silky smooth powder I have used. I love the feeling of this on my skin. And then I have this One Size Turn Up the Base. This is the foundation powder in the shade Fair 3. First of all, I love this packaging. It's so nice. And I actually haven't used this yet as a foundation powder. I typically don't really like foundation powders, but I've been using this to kind of brighten up my face area since it is kind of a lighter tone. And I've kind of been liking it for that. Again, I just showed you this one, but this is the Hourglass Veiled Translucent Powder. This is a great powder for all over the face. I'm so happy to be almost done with it. Next, I have the Kosas Cloud Set Powder. Now, I think when I did this video last year, I probably had 2 or 3 of these in my collection, but right now I just have the shade Airy. It's honestly kind of been like a month or 2 since I've used this powder just because I've been using these ones so much. But this is a beautiful pressed powder for all over the skin. It does have some kind of like blurring qualities to it, and I like it too because it doesn't completely mattify my face. So if you want to keep the glow to your skin, this one is a great one. Then I have this Hourglass little trio down here with the ambient lighting powders. I've had this in my collection for so long and I do use these two quite a bit, honestly. I kind of use them to like blend my concealer with my highlighter in that like spot under your eye. And if I've learned anything about Hourglass powders is that they literally last forever. I have had this for so long and there is no pan in sight. But I like to use this powder if my makeup is looking too matte and I want to add some kind of glowiness to it. This is a great one for that. And then I have 2 minis of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. I have one in Fair and one in the shade 2. You can see I have Pan in the shade 1 and I feel like I'm really close to hitting Pan in this second shade. But this is a powder I will wear if I want my skin to look like perfect that day and if I want a long wearing makeup look, this is what I go for. So those are all the powders that are currently in my collection. Next are my powder bronzers and I currently have 8 in my collection and this time last year I had 9. First, I have the Kosas Sun Show Bronzer in the shade Waves. Now this shade is pretty light on me, so I can only use it when I'm fair, but it's a really beautiful glowy bronzer, but it's not too glowy. Actually, someone told me to smell this, because we all know that like Kosas and like Tower 28 and those like clean beauty products can go bad pretty quickly, and someone said that theirs started smelling like stale McDonald's french fries. It smells okay to me. Next is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Perfector in light medium. Now this is one of these kind of gradient products where there is like a highlighter and kind of a mid-tone shade in there, but I use this as a bronzer, which is why it's in this category. I just kind of mix all the shades together and I really like the look that it gives me. There's actually a pretty good dent in the product right here. I don't want to work on like hitting pan on that or something. Maybe I'll focus on that soon, but I love this for a glowy bronzer. And then I have two of the Sigma matte bronzers. I have the shade light and the shade medium, and I like to keep this in my collection just for a solid matte bronzer because most of these ones are pretty glowy, so it's nice to have a matte option sometimes. And then I have my beloved Hourglass Ambient Bronzer in the shade Nude Bronze Light. This is the only bronzer I have pan on, but that's a pretty decent little pan right there. If you watch my channel, you would know that I absolutely love this bronzer. This is probably my favorite one in my collection, and I can make it work for me every single day. Next, I have the Haus Labs bronzer. I have the shade Light Level 2. Now, this one I'm trying to get some more use out of. I'm trying to get this H little embossing in there to go away, and I feel like it's slowly going away. But this is a really different bronzer formula. It feels really creamy, but it is a powder, and this one is slightly cool tone, so I like to use this when I'm fair and don't want something that's going to show up too orangey on my skin. Next, I have this Patrick Ta Little Duo in the shade She Statuesque. Now, there is a cream and a powder in here, so I think I'm going to count it in like both categories because, you know, this is a full powder bronzer right here. And what's really funny about this product is that I just bought this a couple months ago, and I bought it because I love the duo blushes that he has. Like, I love the pigment of those. Like, they're very intense if you've ever tried them. And so when I first used this product, I expected it to be super pigmented, but it's actually not. So whenever I go to use this, I find that I have to use quite a bit of product to build it up, and I do have to use this on my more fair days since I do believe this is the lightest shade, but I am still getting to know this bronzer. And then last, I have the Pat McGrath bronzer in the shade Naked Desire. This is another bronzer that I bought to use when I'm more fair. It's probably the lightest shade of bronzer that I have in my collection, but this is a pretty just like basic bronzer in my opinion. There's nothing amazing about it, but you know, I bought it myself, I'm gonna use it. So those are the 8 powder bronzers in my collection. The next category is my cream bronzers, and I currently have 6 in my collection, and this time last year I had 7. First, I have the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer in light medium. If you can't tell, I love this product. This gives such a beautiful, kind of balmy, bronzy look to the skin. You can wear it on like a no makeup day, or I can wear it on a full face of makeup day. This product is just amazing. And then like we just talked about, the Patrick Ta Little Duo, so I'm counting this one right here as the cream. Again, I don't really have much to say about this product. It's pretty lightweight, very buildable, but I am still getting to know it. And then I have 2 of the Rare Beauty bronzer sticks. So this one was the very first one that I bought in Power Boost when I could first get my hands on it, and I am actively trying to finish this product. So this is how much product is left right now. Not a lot, but I do really like this formula. And then this is the other shade that I have that works better for me. This is Bright Side. I think they released like a shade extension, right, at some point. So this one is slightly more cool tone than Power Boost, but like look at how much product I have left in this one compared to that one. So my preferred shade is Bright Side, but I am gonna finish this Power Boost one. This formula is so creamy. It's just very easy to work with. It's just kind of like an effortless cream bronzer. Next, I have the e.l.f. Halo Glow Contour Wand. I have the shade Light Medium. Now, to be honest with you, I haven't really used this product a lot. As I'm looking at it, it's like definitely my least favorite out of these. I honestly don't really know if I'm gonna keep it much longer, but I'm gonna try to get some more use out of it before I fully decide on that. And then last, I have the Makeup Revolution cream bronzer in the shade Light. Now this is like a full coverage cream bronzer. It is the opposite of the Makeup by Mario one, where like when you apply this, like you're gonna be bronzed. But if I want to do just like a full glam look with cream products, this is the bronzer that I reach for because it has a lot of like pigment and coverage to it. I will say that the shade is kind of dark. Again, the shade is light, but I would call this a medium. I don't even know if they make a fair of this, but it's a very pigmented bronzer, but it's a really nice one for the drugstore. But this just makes me happy looking at my cream bronzer collection, knowing that these two are very, very loved. Next category is my powder highlighters, and I currently have 8 in my collection, and this time last year I had 13 in my collection. I honestly can't even remember which ones I've decluttered, but I'm very happy with this number. I'm gonna start with my favorite highlighters. It is the Rare Beauty powder highlighters. I have 2 shades. This is Enlighten and Exhilarate. You can see I have pan in both of these shades shades, which makes me so happy. And this is just my favorite highlighter formula. It looks so smooth on the skin. It's nice and glowy without being like a 2016 kind of highlighter. It's just perfect. Next, I have the Fenty Beauty Diamond Bomb in How Many Carats. Now, I don't really use this one a lot. I kind of use it more for like special occasions. For example, I used this when I went to the Taylor Swift concert because obviously I wanted some kind of glitter going on. So that is why I hang on to this one. And then I bought the new Anastasia Glow Seeker highlighter when it came out late last year. People were saying this is kind of a dupe for the Amrezy highlighter, which I did love when that one came out. But I don't know, I kind of have mixed feelings on this highlighter. It's very gold, which is not my preferred shade. And I don't know, like it's a nice highlighter, but again, I just prefer my Rare Beauty ones. But I gotta say, this packaging is gorgeous. This compact, it's nice and heavy, so I'm gonna keep it. And then I have this Too Faced Moon Crush highlighter in Shooting Star. This one came out last year. I received it in PR and I ended up keeping it because I really did like how it looked on my skin. It's a lot more softer of a highlight compared to like the Rare Beauty one. So if I want something that's not super glowy, I'll grab for this one. And then I have 3 of these Sigma highlighters. Now I like to keep these 3 because they all have a slightly different undertone and shade to them. So this first one is Moonbeam, and this is the lightest one that I have. So if I'm just like super fair and I need a really light highlight, I grab for this one. Next I have Sizzle, which is probably my most used shade out of all of these Sigma ones. It's just a really pretty, kind of more champagne color. And then the last one I have is Twilight, and this one has a pink undertone to it, which sometimes I'm in the mood for. Like if I want to mix my blush and highlighter together, I'll grab for this one. And that is my little powder highlighter collection. So the next category is supposed to be cream highlighters, and last year I had 4 of them, and I ended up decluttering all 4 because I just found that I never used cream highlighters. I prefer a powder highlighter all the way. So I'm happy that I have no cream highlighters to report. Okay, the next category is my powder blush. I don't think you can see all of them on the screen. There's a couple kind of over here, but there are 27 blushes in front of me, and this time last year I had 21 blushes. So I know that number just recently increased because here's kind of what happened. So last year I received these Essence Pure Nude Baked Blushes in PR. I love them. They were one of my favorite formulas of last year, and I kept some shades and I put the other shades aside to put in a giveaway pile. And the other week I was going through that pile and like I found this shade and this shade that I haven't used, so I was like, ooh, those look pretty. I'm gonna throw those into my collection. I did the same thing with these Catrice matte blushes because I've heard so many good things about them and I really want to try to get these to work for me, so I hung on to those. Last year I also received these Bare Minerals highlighting blushes in PR. I kept 3 of the shades, so I know why there's more blushes, but this does feel pretty overwhelming to me. And I know I said this in my declutter video, but I do really want to try more brands of blushes because as you can see, like, you know, I have Essence right here. I got Bare Minerals, Too Faced, like Sigma. There's not a lot of variety in the brand. So I kind of feel like I'd rather have more variety in the brands than having like a full collection of just one range of blushes. You know what I mean? I don't really know if I want to go through and talk about like all of these, but let's just start somewhere. So first I have 3 Sigma blushes up here. I ended up decluttering about 3 or 4 of them from my collection in that declutter. So this is Sunset Kiss, kind of more of a matte peachy shade, and I kept this one because it's a matte, and I don't really have a lot of matte blushes. Next is Corday Rosa, probably my favorite color from this line. And then this is Berry Love, again another matte formula, and it's a really pretty berry color. And then like I said, I got 3 of the Bare Minerals highlighting blushes. So for these 3 we have Rose Glow, this one is Opal Glow, and then this one is Pink Glow. I think Pink Glow is my most used. And then I have this one KVD blush in Foxglove. Now I love this packaging. How beautiful is this? But this is just a really nice kind of cool tone blush that I like to use if I want a more maybe like cool tone mauve look. And then like I just said, the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blushes was one of my favorite blush launches of last year. My most used shade is this one right here, and this is Cool Coral. I also use this one a lot too. You can just tell by how much the name is rubbed off, and this one is Shimmering Rose. I'm really excited to get some use out of this peachy one. Yeah, pretty peach, with peach being like the Pantone color of the year. And I have one matte Bare Minerals blush in the shade Call My Blush. This was sent to me recently and I kept it, again because it's kind of a matte blush. And then I have 2 of the Bare Minerals bronzers, which are so beautiful in the summer when you just want like that super bronzed, sun-kissed look. I have Kiss of Copper and Kiss of Pink. Kiss of Pink is definitely my most used out of these 2. And then like I mentioned, I have 3 of the Catrice blushes. These 2 are matte. This one is glow glowy, but I am still trying out this formula to get my thoughts on it. This is the newest blush in my collection. It's the Mini My Dream Blush by Natasha Denona. I've been using this a lot. I love mixing these two together. I have two of the Too Faced Cloud Crush blushes. This was another favorite blush formula of mine last year. I use these a lot. I have another kind of peachy blush. This one's by Flower Beauty. The shade is Peach Primrose. Now this blush is pretty old in my collection. It's the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in Always Punchy. Again, it's just another matte blush I like to keep. It's a really good, just like everyday pink color for me. And then down here, I have the Sigma and Beauty and the Beast blush palette. Now, there are two blushes in this and a highlighter, but I'm just kind of counting this as one because it's just like one compact. I have been using this little trio quite a bit. I love this pinky color, and this more peachy one is really pretty too. And then I have this Makeup by Mario blush. Again, another peachy shade. This one is Creamy Peach. And then I have my Hourglass blush quad that I tried so hard last year to hit pan on. There's a really good divot in this shade right here. I actually am wearing this one today too. I'm still determined to try to hit pan on this at some point. And then I have this one single Hourglass blush in the shade At Night. This is a really deep kind of reddish berry color that I loved wearing in the winter. So that is my pretty large blush collection. I can definitely see myself decluttering this even further and getting rid of some of these throughout the year. Then again, I also want to try some more blushes, so we'll see what this looks like a year from now. All right, the next category is cream blushes, and I currently have 19, and this time last year I had 15. So that's only 4 more, which isn't terrible, but a couple of these, like these two, are pretty new in my collection, so maybe that's why. I don't know. Up here I have the Sigma cream blushes. I really like this formula. So this one is Corte Rosa. This next one is Pashmina, kind of more of like a brighter pink. I love this one in the summer. Next I have Nearly Wild, which is a little bit more of like a deeper kind of berry red. And then I have a Coral Dawn, which is more of like a peachy coral. And then I have this one kind of random Tarte cream blush in the shade Peach Sunset. This was like from a Tarte BoxyCharm that I did a sponsorship on like 2 years ago, but I really liked this cream blush. I know it looks like I haven't used it, but I really have used it quite a bit. And then I have a mini of the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm little wand in the shade Pinkgasm. Now that I'm thinking about this one is pretty old in my collection, but it's just a beautiful shade on the cheeks. Then I have 2 of the Rare Beauty cream blushes. This one is nearly neutral. You can see I have pan on that. It's another just like perfect everyday color. And then this one is Nearly Apricot. And then I have a Tower 28 blush. This one is in the shade Powerhouse. And then I have 2 of the Milk Cosmetics cream blush lights. So this one is Sandy Cheeks and this one is Honey Thief. This is probably the most pigmented cream blush formula I have, but again, these are great shades for the summer. I just can't wait to wear my cream blushes in the summer. And then this one is the newest one of my collection. I just did a video with the ColourPop Valentine's Day collection and I ended up keeping this shade Heart's Content. Now this is called a lip and cheek balm, so I expected this to be a little bit more sheer, but it is a very pigmented cream blush, but I used it, so I'm gonna keep it for now. And then I have a little mini of the Rare Beauty liquid blush in Hope. I am so glad that I bought this last year. I used to have a full size of this in red that I ended up decluttering because I just don't really wear red blush, but this is like a perfect shade for me. I love that it's a mini. I just slather on my cheeks and I love it. And then I have this one Rose Ink cream blush in the shade Heliotrope. Now I bought this because I wanted to try some more cream blushes. I've heard a lot of people talk about this shade and it's a really good kind of more neutral shade. It's kind of a different formula where it does have like a thickness to it, but it's really, really pretty. And then I have the Natasha Denona My Dream Cheek Trio. So again, I'm just kind of counting this as one product. I realize I didn't count these in my highlighter section, but honestly, when I use this, I use it more for the blush anyways. And then I have the Patrick Ta little blush duo in She's Blushing. Like I said earlier, this thing is so freaking pigmented, but I love this. It looks so good on the skin. And then I have another Tower 28 blush. This is in collaboration with the Kung Fu Panda 4 movie. This one is newly added to my collection as well, and it's a red, but it's actually a very wearable color. And then I have one Makeup by Mario Soft Plop. I always say that. Then I have one Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Plumping. Oh my gosh. Then I have this one Makeup by Mario Cream Blush in the shade Barely Blushing. I have talked a lot about this particular shade where I kind of use it more as like a blending blush shade because it's so light and balmy, but I really do like this one. Then I have one Milani Cream Blush in the shade Nude Kiss, just a really good pink blush. See, I like looking at my cream blush collection because I do have a variety of brands in here compared to my powder blush collection. So while this still is a lot. I gotta say blush is one of my favorite makeup categories right now, so I'm pretty happy with this number. Next for brow products, I'm just counting everything that I put on my brows. So I currently have 13 products in my collection, and this time last year I had 10, but I can tell that I have 2 backups right here. So if like we weren't counting those, it would be 11, but you gotta count the backups because these are a part of my collection. Starting with the NYX brow glue. This is my favorite, just like inexpensive brow glue. This really holds my brows up in place all day. I've gone through so many tubes of this, so I have this one and a backup. And then I have the new Anastasia Brow Freeze Gel. This is the newest one of my collection, and this one's just a mini. I'm still getting to know this product, but so far I like it. Then I have the Rare Beauty Clear Brow Gel. Can you tell I just like a clear brow gel? This is just another like solid clear brow gel. Holds my brows up. It doesn't really give me the laminated look, but for just an easy brow day, this is what I'll grab for. And then I have 2 tinted brow gels. This one is by Lawless, and this is the Soft Set Creamy Brow Wax. I have the shade Medium Dark. Now I don't use this product a lot, but if I want something with a tint, I'll grab for this. And I feel like it does have a little bit of those fibers in here, but it's not super fibery like some brow gels. And I do have this one Kosas Air Brow in the shade Medium Brown. Honestly, don't use this one very much. I think I'm gonna try to get some more use out of it before I make my final thought, but I think this could be decluttered sometime soon. And then for my go-to brow pencil, I'm currently using the Anastasia Brow Wiz in Medium Brown. I have 2 of the NYX brow pens. I have one in brunette and one in espresso. The espresso one is really low right now, but this is my favorite brow pen. It's so inexpensive, so great at drawing in those brow-like strokes. And then the other brow pencil I have is the Lawless Shape Up brow pencil. I have the shade Teddy Bear, and this one does have a thicker tip to it. I do prefer a thin tip, which is why I usually use the Brow Wiz, but sometimes I want to switch it up, so I'll grab for this. And then I have a mini of the Anastasia. This is like the Dip Brow Pomade gel, right? There's like no name or sticker on this, but I'm pretty sure that's what this product is called. Now, I don't really use this one a lot either. Like I said, I'm just more likely to use a clear brow gel. I still need to get some more use out of this one, honestly. And then I have a Anastasia clear brow gel. This one's a mini. I got this as a little gift with purchase, so I'm holding on to it. I have used this in the past, but it's been a while since I've tried her clear brow gel. And then I just have one little Sigma brow duo. This is in the shade Dark. Sometimes I need a little powder in my eyebrows, so I'll use this one. So those are all my brow products, but the ones I use daily are the Brow Wiz, the NYX brow pens, and one of these clear brow gels. Next is eyeshadow primers, and I currently have 6 in my collection, and this time last year I had 9. These 3 are the ones I use the most. First, we have the Essence Prime Like a Boss eyeshadow base. I'm actually trying really hard to finish this one. You can see I'm like squeezing it all out of the tube, and this eyeshadow primer is clear, so there's no tint to it. Next is the Anastasia eye primer. This one is in a mini. I think I got this one as a gift with purchase as well. And I have such mixed feelings on this eyeshadow primer. It's kind of drying on my skin, and the color it has is really, really light. So like if you were any deeper than me, this would look a little crazy on your eyelids. Very pigmented, a little bit drying, but like it does work with my eyeshadow. But as I'm talking about it, I'm like, do I even really like this? I don't know. And then I have a good old MAC Painterly paint pot. If I just need something easy to use, I'll grab for this one. And then I do have the Alter Ego eyeshadow primer. I'd say this formula is pretty similar to like the Urban Decay primer potion, which I did use a lot last year. And then I have 2 of these Sigma eyeshadow bases. Now, honestly, I don't use these a lot, but I do keep them in case I do like any sponsored content with them where they would like me to use their eye bases. I know that some people love these eye bases. I just wish they were a little bit creamier, but you know, they do the job. I have been wanting to try a new eyeshadow primer. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of people talk about the Milani one, so I think I might pick that one up kind of soon. Maybe once I finish this Essence one. So the next category is eyeliners, and these are the ones that like I keep in my little jar on my table. I just pulled them out. And then these are ones that I keep in my drawer that I don't use that often, but these are like, there's some fun colors in here and stuff. And I really don't want to count all these out, but I have to, right? For the video. Okay, let me do this. So I have all of my eyeliners laid out. There's some over here that you cannot see, but I counted and there are 57 eyeliners here. And this time last year, I had 28 eyeliners, so I can tell you exactly what happened. I believe it was early last year when Urban Decay launched these like 24/7 inks liners, so I kept, I think these are all of the shades. But the reason why I still want to hang on to these, because there's some cool like colors in here. There's a green, a yellow, we got some blues, and a white, and I don't have any other eyeliners like this, so that's why I'm hanging on to these. And they're just really cool because they have the nice, like, what do you call it? Is it ergonomical? But like the grip I'm not even right-handed, but you know what I mean? Give Beauty sent me these eyeliners last year as well. Again, as a YouTuber, what if I want to do a look with these Give Beauty eyeliners? And I love how like they're kind of more jewel tones, which I love. For here, I have some Wonder Skin eyeliners. I like these a lot because they are very long wearing. And then over here, I have my Urban Decay 24/7 liners. Again, I love my jewel tones, my little greens, my purples. I love these liners. And then also last year, I got the Juvia's Place Afro Galactic collection. I did a sponsored post with them, and I have these 4 glitter liners. And I haven't really used these a lot, but like, I don't know, eyeliners I just hang on to because I'm like, well, what if I want to do something one day that I need this color? You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not going to go through all these, but I have some Makeup by Mario, 2 Kat Von D, a couple House Labs, and other random ones. I sat here trying to declutter some of them, but I just cannot get myself to do it. And I also know that none of these are super old, which is why I'm still hanging on to them because, again, these like 3 piles I just got last year. So yes, this is a very unrealistic and necessary amount of eyeliner, but I can't get myself to declutter this. Next category is mascara, and I currently have 8 in my collection. These are all open and used. And last year I also had 8 mascaras in my collection, so that's kind of funny. All right, so let's go through these mascaras. First, we have my favorite out of this pile. It's the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. I just cannot stop using and raving about this product. The wand just has a nice curve to it. It's more of a rubber bristle, and these bristles just grab each and every one of my lashes when I wear it. So of course I have it in the black shade Jet. This one's actually kind of drying out a little bit, so I'm probably gonna buy a new one soon. And then I have the brown shade Drift, which I absolutely love as well. Like, if I could only keep one mascara at this moment, it would be this one. These are rolling everywhere. Okay, next I have the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascaras. So I have this new naturally version, and then I have the brown version. I don't have the original one because I honestly don't like the original one, but these ones are okay. Funny thing about this Naturally Better Than Sex, when I got it, I didn't really like read the little pamphlet. Again, I got this in PR, and I thought it was supposed to be like the Better Than Sex mascara, but to give you a more natural look, when actually it just has more natural ingredients in it, which I'm like, okay, cool, I guess. But the one is exactly the same as the original, but I do find this formula to be less clumpy on my eyelashes than the original. And I just like trying new mascaras, so if I get one in PR, I'm pretty likely to try it. And then I do have the Better Than Sex in brown. So like I just said, I don't like the original formula, but somehow this one in brown is really nice, and I find that this gives me a nice kind of fluffier lash, whereas my Tower 28 gives me a lifted and separated and just like a little bit of volume to my lashes. Next, I have 2 of the Essence Lash Princess mascaras. So these are new in my collection because I just got a PR box from them that had all of their mascaras, which was really cool. I will say though that PR box was ridiculously oversized. Anyways, these are the 2 I've used so far and opened from that box. So this is the Lash Princess False Lash Effect. Now, I was kind of overwhelmed by like all of the different mascaras that they offered, and I was trying to remember like other people talking about this mascara, and I feel like I've heard people say that this green one is the best-selling one or the best one in their opinion. So I kind of took a shot on this one and I tried it, and I think it's a good mascara, but I don't think it's like amazing or anything. And then I have the same mascara but in brown because, as you guys can tell, I'm loving a brown mascara right now. So this one does have the same wand as that one, and again, it's a good mascara, but it doesn't top my Tower 28. Ooh, and then I just bought this one. It's the e.l.f. Lash Extender. I think this one came out maybe a month or so ago, and I was waiting for it to go on Ulta's website, and it never did, so I bought it from e.l.f.'s website, and I literally just used it for the first time yesterday. I bought it because everyone was saying it's a tubing mascara, and I love a tubing formula. Like, the Thrive Cosmetics one is amazing for tubing, and I wore this yesterday. It wore really nicely, but when I went to remove it, it did not remove like a tubing mascara, so I just wanted to double check. Yeah, lengthening mascara with tubing technology for instant drama. I would not say this is a tubing mascara, which is so disappointing. I had such high hopes because I do love e.l.f.'s mascaras. And then last we have the e.l.f. Lash and Roll. This is a dupe for the Benefit Roller Lash, and I used to love that mascara, but as you guys know, I don't really use Benefit anymore, and this is a perfect dupe for that. Again, I love a curved little wand. Honestly, the wand's kind of close to this one. Wait, think you can kind of tell there, but they have a really similar curved wand shape, which is probably why I like both of these. I just like that shape a lot because I really feel like it helps me grab all of those like inner corner lashes and the ones on the outer corner. So those are the 8 mascaras in my collection. The next category is my single eye products. So I currently have 6 and last year I had 11. Looking at my tiny collection of single eye products, I'm just thinking of like Lauren May Beauty's single eye collection because I know that she loves singles and I just don't. I am a palette girly and I think I always will be, but let's go through these 5. All of these Jones Road ones were sent to me. So these are the Just a Sec eyeshadows. This one is Topaz and this one is Cool Taupe. I honestly haven't gotten much use out of these, again, because I'm not a single eye girly. I do really like the colors of these. I'm still trying to figure out if my finger works best for these or a brush. So if you've tried these, let me know your thoughts on how you like to use them. And then I have 2 of the best eyeshadows. Now I have used this more brown one a lot. This one is Penny and this one is so pretty. I actually did a short with Penny where I did like the easiest everyday eye look just using this one shadow, and that's how I use this shadow. I do use this one the most out of these 4 Jones Road products. It's just really easy to apply all over the eye for an everyday look. Now this one I haven't gotten a lot of use out of, but it's a really pretty color and the formula is just like, it's a really solid eyeshadow formula. And I know I'm not really the market for Jones Road products, but like, that's just beautiful. And then I have these 2 singles. This is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Ritz and the Urban Decay Moondust Shadow in Space Cowboy. Now I'm showing these together because they are a dupe for each other. I'm sure you've seen Space Cowboy all over the place. It has gone viral so many times. And then this Ritz one I actually just received in PR. ColourPop sent over a cute little like New Year's gift or something and this was in it and I thought it was gorgeous. So I kept it, but watch this. So that is ColourPop and Space Cowboy. Honestly, I feel like the ColourPop one, it looks a little bit better than the Urban Decay one, but they're both just like that sheer shadow that has a lot of sparkle in it. It is so pretty. I've been wearing these kind of shades all the time recently. Maybe I am turning into a single eye girly. I don't know, but these 2, so good. Okay, we are finally onto the lip category. So these are all the lip liners of my collection. I have 10 lip liners and this time last year I had 19. So I tried really hard to declutter a lot of my lip liners and I'm so glad that I did. This still feels like a lot because I know that like these colors are pretty much the same. And I like a pinky nude lip liner. Sue me. So I have a Makeup by Mario Smoky Pink, which is the one that I'm trying to actively pan right now. I have this Lawless one in the shade Nude Honey. I have Natasha Denona Natasha that came out with the My Dream collection. I have Natasha Denona 0.5, and then this one is the shade 2.5. And then I have 2 of the Makeup Forever ones. These are like the really 2 popular colors. This one is Wherever Walnut, and this is Anywhere Caffeine. I hear people talk about these colors so much. I got these in PR, so I decided to keep them. And I just love how these ones smell like a classic wood pencil. And then I have 3 from About Face. These ones are really creamy, but they're matte. This one is Cradle. This one is Smoking Room. And then my 1 red lip liner is Forever Flame. And those are my 10 lip liners. And I think this is a great number to have, but I definitely could narrow it down a little bit more probably. Next is going to be all of my bullet lipsticks. I currently have 22 and last year I had 24. I'm not going to open and show you all of these, but these ones right here are the ones that I'm like really using right now that I keep on my desk, kind of like my everyday lip colors. I'm planning on doing a short pretty soon of like my go-to nude lips where you will see all of these in action. So I have all the Sigma Infinity Point lipsticks. I have these Lawless ones that I received in a PR package last year, and I did a lip swatching video, which is why I hung on to so many of them, but I did donate the other ones. I have Urban Decay, Elf, and then my like newest one that I've really been liking is this Makeup by Mario one in South Shore. This is his new like satin lip formula. And you guys saw my lip liners, they're all the same color. So all of these lipsticks right here are pretty much the same color as well. So those are all of my bullet lipsticks. Okay, next is liquid lipsticks, and I only own 2 liquid lipsticks, and last year I had 15, so I'm so proud of myself for decluttering that many because honestly liquid lipstick is probably my least favorite lip formula, but I do love to have a good red in my collection, and this Makeup Forever one is really nice for that. This one is 402. And then I have this more burnt color that I actually wore quite a few times in the fall. When I think liquid lipsticks, I think fall, and this one is a shade 320. Next category is lip glosses. So I currently have 7, and last year I had 24. But the issue I'm having right now is that I feel like the last couple years we've seen a lot of lip glosses slash oils. Like the products are kind of in between both of those categories, but I would call these all lip glosses, but I would say that lip glosses have more pigment to them, where lip oils are meant to just be kind of a more hydrating shine. So I have 4 of the Lawless Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Glosses from the Forget the Filler line, and I really like these. As you can tell, I have 4 of them, and I have finished one of them from this color before because this looks so good on the lips just by itself. Then I have one Sigma lip gloss. I have this one Wet n Wild Mega Slicks and a Natasha Denona gloss. So a pretty small lip gloss collection, but I like all of these. Next is lip oils, and I currently have 6, and last year I had 5. I'm kind of surprised that this category hasn't grown much because, again, I feel like lip oils have become so popular, but I do try to be picky about the products that I receive in PR and not just impulse buying the next new lip oil, so I'm very proud of this little lip oil collection. So I have 2 from Tower 28, and I was deciding on whether or not to put these in the lip oil or lip gloss category, and the name is called the Shine On Lip Jellies. So it's like right in between an oil and a gloss, but I think it's more on the oil side. And then I have one of the Say Glossy Bounces in the shade Dip. This is the Merit Lip Oil in All Natural. Honestly, this one's kind of old. I should probably declutter this one soon. This one came out years ago. Look how tiny this doe foot is compared to some of these other ones. And then I have one of the new Too Faced Kissing Jelly Glosses, but see, it says Oil Gloss Hybrid. That's exactly what this is. But I really have been loving this product. They sent all of the shades in PR, but I only kept this one in Raspberry just because it seemed like the one I'd be most likely to wear, and these all smell amazing, and they all smell different too, but this Raspberry one, so good. I'm putting it on right now. And then I did just buy one of the e.l.f. lip oils. This one is in Honey Talks, and this has a mintiness to it, which is different than what like these other ones have, but I kind of like that. And then one product I'm really struggling to categorize is my Make It by Mario lip plumping serum, because it's like a stick of a lip gloss plus a lip oil, so I don't know where to put this one, but if you watch my videos you know I love this lip product. But then I also have one of the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Cream, so like this is kind of its own category in itself too. So I don't know, these 2 stick products together. As I opened this one, I got like a big waft of a smell, and I don't know if it's supposed to smell like that. Uh-oh. I don't know if that smell is normal or not. I'm not sure, guys. And then I have 2 of these lip balms. I have the Summer Fridays one and then the Rhode one. Out of these 2, I definitely prefer the Summer Fridays. So are those like lip balms? I think so. I have one lip mask. It's just the Sigma lip mask in the shade Tint. Last year I had 2 lip masks, and I know it was the clear version of the Sigma lip mask. Oh, I just realized I missed some lip oils. Whoops. I forgot these 3 Sigma lip oils, so that makes lip oils 9, not 6. And these lip products are kind of their own category as well. These are the Sigma lip creams. Now, they're not a lip gloss because they're super pigmented. I would say they're most similar to a liquid lipstick, but like a creamy version of a liquid lipstick, if that makes sense. And I have 7 shades of those. All right, and that was my entire makeup inventory and makeup collection. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.